Now, are you like religious for anything?
I wouldn't say I'm religious, right? I do believe there's like some sort of creator.
Okay.
Started somewhere, right?
Sure.
I don't believe in like Christianity, Judaism.
Sure.
I don't know.
Okay. What about prophets of God? What about this concept? Does it make sense to you? Like there are people sent by God. So tell us about that God that you're talking
So
about.
I was kind of thinking about it from the logical perspective as like
Sure.
nothing can't come from something, right? So
Sure.
someone must have created something for us to be here.
Yes.
Like everything can't come from nothing. So
I agree. Yes.
That's my perspective.
Yes.
But then
That's the rational perspective. Yes.
Yeah. But then there's like so for example, Islam and Christianity, they tell a story of different. I don't want to get into it because
Let's get into it.
I don't know too much about it, right? I just
Let's get into it and talk about whatever and then we see where we are.
like England's like a Christian country, right? So
Yes.
I learned the story of Jesus. Sure. Bethlehem. He was born in a manger and stuff like that.
Sure. Is England though a Christian country? That's a good question to ask.
Historically, it was a Christian.
It was a Christian country, but now I would say it's a secular country.
What are you saying? Like, I would say like the majority of people are non-religious.
It's not just that the majority of people are culturally Christian, meaning that the churches are empty, people do not live by the tenets of Christianity, but the governmental system and institutions as well do not operate based on religious law. So when you go to the court, it's not based on religious law.
I wouldn't necessarily that defines whether a country is religious, right?
So if the people are not practicing the religion and the government is not adopting the values, then what makes it a Christian country?
I hear that. So if the people are not practicing the religion, I would agree it's not a religious country. But if the government does not practice on the religion, I think that's almost a good thing, right? Because
Why is it a good thing?
It's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing, right? It doesn't define whether a country is religious.
No, I think it's a part of the equation, because you could have, even if the people are not really practicing, but the government itself speaks out. For example, the government itself has crosses, the government itself has the Pope in every initiation of their practices. The government continuously mentions that we are a Christian nation. If this is the case, even if the people are not to, because the people will sooner or later start practicing if this is the case. But you could call it still a Christian nation from that perspective. The government is proudly representative of their own faith. So it's a part of the equation. So you can have both, or at least one. But in this case, you have none.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking you, when you say it's a Christian country, from which perspective is it?
So I was talking more from like education. They teach you those kind of stories. That was from my perspective.
They teach you now, isn't it? They teach you all of this all religions together.
It's been a while since I was in primary school.
So right, that's what I'm telling you is different today. So now they teach you everything, right? And they don't necessarily tell you this is the truth and this is false. They just preach. And you have atheists actually teaching religious classes.
Like they teach everything. You think that's the correct way to teach it? Like they should teach all religions?
Well, I'm not a citizen of this country. I don't live here and I'm not a citizen. I prefer not to talk about my background. But I'm not a citizen of the country, nor do I live here. But I come here, I visit once in a while, right? But the point is, my perspective is what you should teach the people is the truth. That's what you should teach the people, right? So just like I don't teach when you are in like medical school or wherever it is, you're not going to just teach different theories if you know for a fact some of these medical theories are wrong and we already discovered them wrong and now we have the correct theory or the correct procedure. You're not going to teach the wrong procedure as well, right? You're going to teach only the correct procedure. So even when it comes to worldly things, since they teach only things which are correct, when it comes to the afterlife and truth, they should be doing the same. So what should be taught in schools is that which is true, but that also, as I said, is going to be reflective of what the government follows to an extent, because they will also have these laws on what is taught in schools and what is okay, what is not okay. Since this country has become a secular country, then it has become the case freedom of religion, freedom of speech, or whatever, and an extension of that is that they in schools will teach you whatever you want to learn, do whatever you want to learn, study whatever you want to study, right? But anyways, that's not that important. Coming back to where we were, whether this country is a Christian country or not, you wanted to get into Islam. I think you had something in mind you wanted to say, and then you said that. Yes.
No, I kind of just I think it's like a really important part of society, so I just wanted to learn about it.
Islam. You think Islam?
Christianity, just religion in general.
Sure.
But obviously Islam is a big part as well.
Sure. So if we're operating from a logical standpoint, like you said, you cannot have something from nothing. You cannot have the universe from nothing. It has to come from something. If something creates the universe, created us, is what we call God, essentially. Then that God, if he created us, or if it created us, it gives us purpose.
Okay.
By definition. When you make something, you create
Can we
something.
just go on to that?
Sure.
So if I think creating something and giving it purpose is different, right?
Okay. Can you tell me something that is created by someone and that not that person is the one who decides the purpose of that thing? Think about anything that's created.
Let's talk about humans, right? So we talk about
No, humans are the contention that we're discussing, right?
Yeah, so that's the best example, right?
Okay, tell me, do you know why humans are created for or not? But you don't know.
I don't know why they're created, right?
Sure.
And I don't think that's an important question, to be honest.
How is it not an important question?
Why humans are created? That's
The purpose of our existence, how is that not an important question?
I think you find your purpose through your lived experience, right?
That's a personal opinion. Like I said, the one who can determine that is the one who made you. So the one who made you can either tell you, I made you for no reason, which makes no sense, because if we just said that creator is a knowledgeable creator looking at the universe, created everything with a purpose, he's not going to just put us there for no reason. So if that creator tells you that I've created you for no purpose, then you can come to the conclusion as you said. But anything which is made or created by definition, using common sense and logic, is created and made by an entity, you determine its purpose. Like the person who made this phone, determine the purpose you're going to use it is for communication. The person who made your bag, is he going to collect and have stuff, store it and use it, right? The person who made the jacket is to, like, it's, if you make something...
So
okay,
may I ask you, like, why you think you were created then?
Okay, it's coming back to what I said. The reason we say we exist here in this life is what Allah, the Creator, has told us. Allah said in the Quran, He's put us in this life as a test. Whether we'll choose His path and path of goodness and obedience to God, worshiping God, or we will choose the path of Satan and our desires and what we want. So why we believe we exist in this life is that we are being tested every day and every moment of our life until we die. Which path are we going to choose and which path are we going to live on? Who told me that is the Creator who created me, is the one who told me that's the purpose why He created me. So it's not something that I come up with.
I think that's really interesting, right? But I think that's like a really linear way to think about it. Like there's this path, the good path, and there's this path, the bad path, right?
Sure.
In my head, that doesn't make too much sense. I think that there has to be like for instance, could you tell me something where, so for instance, if you were drinking, right, drinking alcohol, that would be a choice you would make if you were going towards the wrong path, right?
No, I'll ask you a foundation question that will respond to that.
Okay.
Where do you get your morals from?
I think, so me personally, I would get from my lived experiences, also from my parents as well. I think that's where you get your morals from, yeah.
You realize that's subjective.
Morality is subjective, of course.
No, you're making a claim now that you cannot substantiate. You believe it's subjective, but you cannot state that there is no objective morality out there, right? So
I think...
For you, morality is subjective, I agree, because you take it from your parents, you take it from your community, and that changes with time, so it makes it relative. So that means if I take you and in a time machine and put you 4,000 years in the past, you probably believe slavery is fine, because it was a part of the society, right? We say, morality is objective. Slavery was wrong that time and is wrong today. There is no difference between whether you lived that time or you lived today. Also, if morality is subjective according to you, then there is no morality. Because if you can think based on your own subjective experience, killing is good, another person can think is bad, then killing itself cannot be looked at in abstract of you and me because it's subjective. So therefore there is no right or wrong. It's just personal opinion and desires. And that's based on that you live in chaos. So your example of alcohol should depend on your worldly parameter of where do you get your morality from. So from an Islamic point of view, we don't say morality is subjective, we say it's objective. What makes it objective is it comes from an all-knowing being. It comes from an all-knowing, all-true being, all-good being, whatever, right? So therefore, whatever He decides, because He created us and He made us and He knows us more than we know ourselves, it makes it an objective moral teaching or command.
I really appreciate what you're saying.
Okay.
It gives me a different perspective.
No problem.
I really appreciate it. But so you're saying like Allah, for example, He's all-knowing, right? So He teaches you how to live basically in this world.
He's all-knowing and He is the truth and He created you, which is very important. So if He made you, He knows everything about you. So by definition, He would know what would be good for you because He made you, and He knows what would be bad for you.
Yeah, okay. The problem for me, right, is that the lack of understanding, right? Because He's an all-knowing being, right? And He's telling me, for instance, don't drink, right? but I don't understand why I shouldn't.
Really?
No, I mean, that's
No, but that's how.
That's an example.
Sure, okay.
That's an example.
But first,
You know what I'm saying?
let's agree. You understand why God said don't drink,
I'm
right?
saying that's a really simplistic view.
Sure.
But we can get into like the.
No problem. Let me answer that.
Okay.
Are you an all-knowing being?
Of course.
Okay, so as an extension of that, you wouldn't know the purpose behind everything the Creator tells you. Now, when I was younger and my father told me to do certain things, I didn't necessarily need to understand everything. He had more knowledge and wisdom than me, and he wanted good for me. I followed based on me knowing that. If I follow everything based on my understanding, then I'm trying to take the position of God. I'm not following God, I'm following what is convincing to me. So we're back to the desires again. So there is a limit to the things you can understand. But in Islam, I would say the overwhelming majority, even to the extent of 99%, if not 100%, you can offer a rational, logical justification behind why God commands you to do these things.
So I would really love to like.
Yeah, so you mentioned alcohol as an example, and I don't even need
alcohol is
to.
a really easy one to
Okay,
justify,
sure.
right?
Yeah, then you can ask about something else, right? Like you brought it up. So
Like I was saying, I don't
Yes.
know too much about it, right?
Sure,
So I'd
yes.
love to learn about it.
Yes.
But I think, obviously, I'll read this, right?
Sure.
Maybe one day we'll meet again and we'll have another conversation.
Sure,
That'd be great.
but then keep in mind what I said. If you say that you believe in a creator, then he made you, then he's the one who gives you purpose. So I think in your life right now, if the creator has a purpose for you, then the most important thing in your life is to figure out what that purpose is. Because if there is an afterlife, as overwhelming majority of people can say believe, if there is an afterlife, then when you die, if that afterlife is based on how you lived your life over here, then you need to know what the purpose that the creator wants from you, because your life in the afterlife will be dependent on that purpose.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to the fact if you believe that this creator is all-knowing.
It's not about belief. No, but you would agree.
It's all about belief.
No. You should agree that the creator is all-knowing because you believe the creator created the universe.
Okay,
The universe.
but I would disagree that my creator your creator, basically Allah.
There's one creator.
What's the?
There is only one creator. Look, when you agree, creator created the universe, by definition, that necessitates the creator. This is what the point I'm trying to make. That necessitates the creator must be not bound by time and space the way we are, because the created time and space continuum. So you will see present, past, and future. It necessitates all-knowing from the aspect of created all of these complex things that we can even comprehend, let alone. So if the minute you say you believe the creator created the universe, we're already in agreement there. So there's nothing to argue about.
100%.
Just from a rational perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But you said that it's not about faith, right? That's where I'll disagree. Because you
But the creator has these attributes. That's what I'm saying is not about faith. It's just common
Okay,
sense.
no, that's common sense, right?
Yes.
But the faith bit is kind of the fact that this book, that you're believing that this book is the truth.
That's not also belief. You haven't asked me why I believe it. Right?
You know,
if
that would be a great question. I have to know now, but
no problem.
it's great
Okay.
speaking to you. I really appreciate
Let me give you my channel, because on my channel I'll show you one video where I talk about why this book is from God. So you don't say that it's just like belief, because it isn't belief, right? So I'll go to YouTube and I'll just show you the video. Can you put the Muslim lantern? The Muslim lantern. And then compelling evidence for the truthfulness of Islam. You can research that.
Is this you?
Yes, that's me, yeah. So let me go to the video. It's probably in one of these playlists, yeah? Go to the playlist, Islamic lectures. Your internet is a little bit yeah, okay. Here, compelling evidences. This 1 hour, 15 minutes. I talk about why for a fact this has to be from God. So
This is the truth from God. That's the
yes,
truth about them.
yes. And my channel is a reflection of why no other faith is the truth from God as well. Where I would provide you, just like I did in this conversation, rational, objective reasoning and evidences why it isn't from their own traditions. So you're welcome to watch that.
Yeah, okay. That's great.
No problem.
It's nice
Pleasure talking to you.
Mohammed, right?
Yes, Muhammad.
Ash?
Ash, yes, no problem. Nice talking to you, Ash.
I got this one.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you.
Bye bye. See you.